Burnt Basque cheesecake time! And honey, let me tell you first, this is not a diet cheesecake. What is with my hair? Lord Jesus, I'm gonna put a toque on. That's better. Okay, so burnt Basque cheesecake. Talked about this yesterday. Basically, it is a crustless cheesecake. It is by no means a diet cheesecake. It is the richest, most delicious, creamiest, most moist cheesecake you're ever gonna have in your life. So this is what so we're going to start by lining a springform pan with parchment paper. Yes, I've gone way above the rim because this cheesecake will rise, but it will also sink back down. If you're not familiar with what a springform pan is, it is this. It has a little locking mechanism. You open this and the pan springs open, so it helps getting a cheesecake out. If you don't have one, not the end of the world, but do make sure you do the parchment. Then we've got 2 cups of whipping cream. We've got 2 pounds of cream cheese. We've got 6 eggs. Pro tip. Break your eggs into a bowl first when you're baking because otherwise you might end up getting some eggshell in there and you'll never know because the egg's already in. We've got 1 teaspoon of salt. We've got 1.5 cups of sugar. We've got 1/3 cup of flour. We've got 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Yes, this is vanilla in a Fanta bottle. I am that extra. I make my own vanilla out of vanilla beans and vodka, and this is where I store it. If you have a stand mixer, it's going to make this a lot easier. If you have a hand mixer, that's going to work great also. If not, and you're like your grandmother who's the toughest woman in the world, she's just going to use a wooden spoon and beat the out of everything. Okay, we've got my sugar in there. I'm adding the last of the cream cheese. It is cut up into blocks. Make sure it is softened. No, do not put it in cold here and beat it because it will not absorb properly with the other ingredients. You must make sure it is softened. Now we're going to beat the bejeebers out of this. See, nice and creamy, no lumps. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add the eggs in. 1 egg at a time. Don't put more than 1 egg at a time. What the eggs do is they emulsify the whole solution, so they mix up with the fats. If you dump them all in at the same time, it's just basically gonna turn it into sort of curdly mess, so you wanna do it one by one by one. Just be patient, it doesn't take that long. See, this is just 1 egg. See how it sort of makes it all look curdly and such? Yeah, that's why you wanna take your time, 1 egg at a time. Let that get completely emulsified and mixed in, and then you can add your second one. Look, it's already ready for its second egg. Ooh, see how creamy that is? Now, we're gonna put in our salt, 1 teaspoon. We're gonna put in vanilla, which I'm supposed to put in 1 teaspoon, but I only have 1 hand, so we're just gonna guess what 1 teaspoon looks like. Don't ever guess when baking. And then we're gonna put in 2 cups of heavy cream. This is 35% cream. This is the fattiest cream you can get, and I'm gonna tell you right now, don't use diet cream cheese in this or low-fat cream cheese. You're putting in 2 cups of cream. Don't be one of those people that buys a McDonald's combo and then gets a diet soda. Soda? What am I, American? Oh, God. For 2 to 3 months, and then boom, you have vanilla. This has been going for, I think, about 2 months. So about another month or so, I'll be able to use this. And also makes a great gift at the holidays. I don't give it to anybody. I'm too selfish. Being asked, how do you make your own vanilla? It's like brutally easy. Just get a 26er of vodka. Buy like 10 to 20 vanilla beans from Amazon, put them into a jar like this. See those vanilla beans? They look like terrifying sea creatures, but they're the vanilla beans. Cut them open, put them in there. Lastly, we've got our 3rd cup of flour. So we're gonna sift this over. We're only sifting it over so it's nice and even. We're not sifting it to like get air or anything in there. It's just you don't want a big lump of flour in. You want it to mix nice and evenly. And then we're gonna mix that again and then pop it into our pan. Okay, parchment in here, batter. And we're gonna pour it in. Super, super liquidy, because like I said, this is a creamy cheesecake. This is not a traditional cheesecake. This is going to be still look slightly undercooked inside because it is so delicious and creamy. And also remember, it's called burnt Basque cheesecake, so it will be burnt. So we're gonna put it in the oven, 400 degrees, which is extremely high for really any baked dessert. 400 degrees for about 60 to 65 minutes. When it comes out, it's going to be super puffed up and it is going to be burnt. And everyone is going to think it is ruined. And it is not. That is exactly what we want. I'm going to just let you see. This has come just to the edge. So the edge is like right here. So yeah, that's why you want the parchment. Otherwise, this is going to go all over your oven, honey. And now into the oven. So be careful with this. Oh, and for extra insurance, just in case, always put it on a pan. You never want that overflowing into your oven. That's how you keep your oven nice and blue like me. And then we're gonna put this down in here, like I said, 60 to 65 minutes on 400 degrees. And if you're wondering what that is, I don't like using store-bought stuffing. So I just dry out my own bread and then I use this because I'm making stuffing tomorrow also. Anyway, side note. Okay, last random thing. I'm not making this, but I just finished making this because I've been making it for 3 days. And I just want to show you it. It's called Labna cheese balls. Yes, it is so freaking delicious. And if you can believe it, it's only 2 ingredients, yogurt and salt, but it just takes time to make. And then you preserve it in olive oil and it stays at room temperature for up to 6 months. What? So what do you do with it? You basically take out these balls, you can eat them as is, you spread them on crackers, you put them on bread. Lots of times I just like to have it actually not in the ball form and just have it as a spread like this with olive oil and then just crackers or vegetables in there. Super low calorie, super, super delicious and super easy to make and super cheap. I just learned it on TikTok a couple months ago and I've since become obsessed. So maybe at some point I will show you how to make it. But I mean, just even the presentation, like you bring that to your table and you're like, look at my balls. Well, maybe don't say that, but yeah, whatever. It's been 1 hour and it's done. Now, how to tell if it's cooked? Basically, if it looks like burnt, like this, your burnt Basque cheesecake is done. Now, when you shake it, you're gonna see it's jiggly. That's okay. That's okay. Now we're gonna let it cool, and then after about 2 to 3 hours, when it's completely cool, then we're gonna put it into the fridge. Okay, so even after the cheesecake cools, I can't cut it because, like I said, it's for some people for tomorrow, but I want you to see what it looks like inside. So I dug up this Instagram shot from my stories when I did it back in April. So you can see, ooh, see? It's like still wet and moist inside. So it's not like a normal cheesecake. It's like just, it's that much creamier, that much tastier, and just honestly, it's nothing you've ever tasted before. So make it. It's super easy. You saw how easy it was.